Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about Mount Fuji 2013, the bad aspects of the trip and the mountain. This is the second in the Fuji series. The first one was good and talks about a lot of the good stuff, but of course not all of the good stuff about climbing Mount Fuji. This video is going to be talking a little bit more about the bad aspects of it and things that I saw that are not good. So number one up on the list is it looks like they're going to start charging to climb that mountain. When we went up, there was nobody around, but when we came down, there was a volunteer tent set up near the 6th station. They were asking for a 1,000 yen donation. Now, I don't know if that's going to become a more permanent setup or not. And it's a little unclear how much they will actually be charging to climb the mountain. Now, in theory, this is not necessarily a bad idea. It just could be problematic because it used to be free in the past. But it is now a cultural World Heritage Site, and so evidently the money is going to be used to protect the mountain and the parks around surrounding it. That part is a little unclear. So, bad point number one, you're going to have to pay. Okay, the next bad point that I want to address is during the day, it seems like they are doing work to improve the path, so you have to deal with construction machines up on the mountain itself, which is kind of a pain in the butt. We didn't run into any going up, but like I said, we climbed all night, so it looked like they were doing work on the path when we were coming down. On the way down, however, the path is about as wide as one of the large earth movers. Not just earth movers, but they use these large machines that have heavy lifting capacity to be able to move garbage up and down the mountain. The problem is the down path is only about as wide as one of these machines, and so every 2 or 3 twist backs, there's a machine that had to come that was coming down, and you had to be off the path far enough to not get hit by the machine. Didn't look like the driver was able to see that well. It was kind of problematic. One of the biggest problems with the mountain currently is there are no garbage cans, no trash receptacles of any sort up and down the mountain. The only place to throw things away is at Shinjuku Station before you get on the bus, and there's nothing that tells you that anywhere. The stores at the 5th station are kind of pissy about taking garbage, and so because nobody is willing to take garbage, people just leave it near vending machines and everything else. It looks terrible. And once you're up on the mountain, if you brought your own drink, then you have to take that drink back down because no one will accept the PET bottle that you brought into their garbage unless you bought it from them. Usually Japan is a very polite, friendly, helpful place, except on Mount Fuji. The store staff, maybe it was because we climbed in the middle of the night, not particularly friendly, not particularly helpful. Now that may be a function of, having to live up on the mountain for 2 months or a month or whatever, but I don't know. It's kind of not Japanese. Could be dealing with so many tourists all the time, constantly. This didn't happen the last time I went up the mountain, but this time there was actually a person who worked for one of the shacks, the stations, that told us we couldn't go any higher because they'd closed the top of the mountain due to storms. But he was lying. He was saying how this station, and this was only like the 7th station, how beautiful the sunrise would be from that point rather than going all the way up top, and shouldn't we just go ahead on in and take a rest. Now the rests at the stations are quite expensive, particularly if you don't have a reservation, and I've seen this kind of thing at other tourist locations like in developing countries, but never seen anything so blatant in Japan. It was very annoying. So also the last free place to pee is at the 5th station. There is a tourist area rest stop right there. Every place else up the mountain you're going to pay 200 or 300 yen to take a pee, which you will inevitably have to do in the 12 hours that you're on the mountain. Now, going up, there's bathrooms at pretty much every station, and there are quite a few stations on the way up. Going down, you have to get below the 7th station before you hit the first bathroom. Now, if they told you that at the top of the mountain, probably that would be fine, but how about a heads up? Not asking for much. So last time I said the stick was probably my most treasured item from this particular little excursion, and it is. I think my stick is the best. It's awesome. It's fantastic. I'm glad I have this souvenir of that trip. However, 1,000 yen, 1,200 yen for the stick at the bottom, and then 200 to 300 yen for every burn on the way up. It'll nickel and dime you. You're going to probably end up spending almost ichiman if you have some food and some drink and get your stick burned while you're going up and down the mountain. Now, all of those have been pretty much man-made problems for climbing Mount Fuji. This one is not. This is a nature thing, and it's just bad luck or good luck. We didn't get good luck. It was not a clear day when we got to the top. The weather can be bad, and it's kind of a crapshoot. You never know what you're going to get. Most of the time, the view from the top is not cloudy. However, sometimes it rains, sometimes it's cloudy. Luck of the draw, so pay attention to the weather before you make your climb. However, if you're making plans for the trip in advance, you just get what you get. Nobody's fault, but I could still put it in the bad category. Pretty much that's all I'm going to talk about for bad. Yes, there are other things that are not so great about it. The toilets all stink because they're all self-contained, which is fine. I don't have that big of a problem with it. There are a couple of other minor issues, the cost of food and drink on the way up, and yeah, some other issues, but nothing major. Those are the big points, I think, for bad. I am going to come back and we're going to talk about one more set of things tomorrow for the ugly video, because there's some ugly stuff that you got to deal with about the mountain. All right, but for today, that's going to be about it. I'm going to get this done so I can get it up and get out. I'll see you later.